Okay, so I wanted to throw this here video up and give my thoughts on the person Steve Hoka was talking about, Dr. Grande. Who is Dr. Grande? Well, from my observation or from my observing his channel, I'd seen him before but didn't pay a lot of attention because there was so much out here. And from listening to a couple of his videos, especially the one on types of incels, I thought it was pretty hilarious because what he's saying we've known about for like forever, right? So he's telling me nothing that I don't already know, but he is an employee of the establishment. Yes, he is. Guaranteed, take it to the bank. Just like Monday is an employee of the establishment. Just like turd flinging monkey. Most likely, totally, employee of the establishment. I wouldn't stay sane as sane as anymore. At first, I questioned him by his behaviors. Okay? I think he's just a guy that's out there, okay? And I think the Blue Skies media was a patsy, nothing more than a patsy, a sucker, being manipulated by somebody older who he looked up to, because he's not awake to what's really going on, which is sad, but it's the truth. Okay, he don't understand what's really going on. So I feel for him in that direction. But same token that I say this stuff, you know, the red flags still stand with him until he takes them flags down. Because I've learned that you don't really trust anybody, especially online, when you don't know them. Okay, and that's really what I've learned. Okay, in today's society, you don't trust anybody. I mean, you want to, but you can't. Time tells all when you get to know someone, and you have to go from there. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Mr. Grande. Okay, yeah, he's professionally spoken. Of course he is. But if you pay attention to when he gave you the types of incels, it's all information we should already all know. If you don't know the types, well, then he told you, and he wasn't lying about the types. Although, however, he did tell you in your face that the majority of incels, even though there are 3 types, are guys that have never had a woman, and that there's a hatred towards women. And this is the type he's focused in on mostly when he gave you the types. And these are the bitter, hateful incels that we see on the forums throwing each other under the bus. Well, that's all social engineering, every last bit of that. You're not going to hear Dr. Grande bring up true force loneliness because that is the white elephant in the living room or in the room, as Steve Hoke has mentioned. They will never do that in a million years. Why? Because TFL stands for exactly what it is. And the blame is these people at the top and social engineering and human beings being not smart enough to figure it out and see it and just going along. Just going along and doing no critical thinking skills of their own to figure out that they're being deceived. And because we've made lying and deceiving people and playing games a norm, and so many idiots are going along with it. Yeah, and I said idiots, didn't I? That's right, because anybody that goes along with it's an idiot. And I don't care if there's millions of you idiots. If I make you mad saying them words, it's because it's the truth, and if the truth is certain, yeah, I really don't care. But the truth of the matter is this: the guy is an employee of the establishment, no doubt, no doubt. They will never, ever, ever, even though we separated TFL from Incel years back. Okay, I separated it then. I said it from day one. See, true TFLers already know. They just want to meet one good female that would love them for who they are, who they could love for who they are. It's not about changing one another. No, It's not about he must self-improve himself and she must do nothing for herself. No, your double standards are out the window, because see, that's all garbage. It's all criminal behavior. It's all dishonest. It's all deception. It's all division. Okay, and it keeps us divided. I mean, they've done a wonderful job of dividing us all as it is, haven't they? Yeah, they have. But yeah, I'd like to see Steve give a run at this guy. Why not? He's got nothing to lose. He's an employee of the establishment. We already know that these people want to say that TFL is incel when it's not, never has been, and never will be. You even want to go as far as saying, oh yeah, they're one and the same, when you know full well they're not. Because see, the true TFLer just wants that one good person. That's it. They're not after no more than that. Just one good person that become their friend, their best friend, their companion, their mate, to grow old, have kids, and raise a family with, and grow old with. That one person. That's it. It's not about sex. Sex is at the very last of the list. It's not first, foremost, and up front. And for today's incel, of course, we got the categories, right? But the majority of the incels, not all, but the majority that are so heated and angry online are guys that have been living TFL. That don't want to accept TFL for the name, okay? And have fallen for the social engineering machine and believe that love and sex are one and the same, when they're not, and never have been. They wouldn't know this because they have no other life experience or no life compass to focus it by, because everything they've seen and know their whole life has been exactly what we're looking at. The complete corruption, the complete reversal, manipulation, and twisting, and distorting and breaking down the foundation of true relationships. And this is the stuff I've been screaming at people for years. That you don't even know what you're doing in the dating scene because you're following the propaganda, the agenda. And see, because of the agenda, they're never ever going to separate the two. Because the focus is to attack the guys that ain't got nobody in their life, the guys that are pushed out, and blame them for what's happening to them, when in reality, it's the people doing the blaming at the top, pointing their fingers, are the ones that's done it to them. It's them people you think you're going and voting for. Yeah, it's the people at the top that you people just obliviously believe are there for you, called your government. They've never been there for you. They're nothing more than pawns and puppets in this game as well, following their orders because they're too stupid to see what's really going on when it's right in their face. Or because of selfishness, of course, and the tool, them are major items that's corrupted everybody's brains. When I said the tool, I'm talking about your monetary system. I'm talking about money. And most of you who know me know this already. So the reality is this. Dr. Grande is an employee of the establishment, just like Ole Demigard, just like Jim Fetzard, just like Monty Graff, yeah, just like Jason Goodman, yeah, just like so many. I mean, the names, I could just go on and on with a list of names of them. You know, that's the thing. When Google took the ownership of YouTube, they made the announcement they were going to turn it into a TV set. And because Google's in bed with the corporations in Hollywood and the CIA and the people that are telling all these people, corporations and everything, what to do, since they're all in bed with the same entities, it's the elite's agenda. They're following their orders, carrying out the elite's agenda. TFL was a major threat to the elite because it could single-handedly, if people woke up to what was really and started caring for each other again, it would bring the genders back together and family unit back together, and people would become stronger and more aware, and they'd start standing up to these people that are doing this to us. Well, they can't have that. They didn't spend decades and decades and decades dividing us in every fashion possible in society, because we're not just divided by gender. We're divided by races. We're divided by cultures. We're divided by status, how much of the tool, money you're making. We're divided by fame, money, gender, race, religion. That's right. How much money you make, what your profession is. And the list goes on and on and on. And we've allowed ourselves to create hierarchies. Yeah, people that's going to be over other people so they can have their little sick ego power trip. And they can practice doing unto others that they wouldn't want done unto themselves. See, this is why you won't mention TFL. Because it's the most honest group of people online who are telling the real truth. See, they only want one good woman that'll be their mate, their best friend, their lover for life. They're not after woman after woman. They're not chasing for sex. But the majority of you are chasing for sex. And that's all that's on your mind. And unfortunately, you're the ones that's following the programming. Yes, it's a human nature, a human want. Okay, for us to want to mate, to have sex. In an over-sexualized world where it's pranced in your face everywhere you turn. And to want to fit in with everybody else, see human nature. To want to be accepted and looked at like everybody else is a human thing, man. It's normal. But individuality is also normal, and recognizing right from wrong is also normal, but not no more, right? To not care about others is to not care about yourself. You don't got all your goodies and your trinkets and your technology and the food in the grocery store because you were being selfish. No, you've been put into the matrix. You've been put into a system that's dumbed you down, made you complacent that everything's just spoiled rotten. And you don't even know you are. You could have to go out and hunt and gather to feed your family. Not run down to your local grocery store. Because there was none. Do you follow what I'm saying? Could be a whole lot worse than it is, but you're spoiled and you're so used to everything the way it is and your entertainment. That's all you want. And then you want to hear only what you want to hear, and you don't want to hear anything that goes against what you don't want to believe, even if it's true. Yeah, even if it's true, you don't want to believe truth when it's presented to you. It's just the retired KGB agent said. Be able to give you a semi-load of video and files and documentation. Semi-load of actual evidence and proof that this is going on, and you'll all disregard every last bit of it. So that you can have your sick little feeling of, oh, I feel better inside. Until the gates come tumbling down. Then you're all going to be crying like a bunch of little whiny, scared cowards. Saying this has got to stop, but it'll be too late. No. Then you become complicit with that too, won't you? Right till they got the gun to the back of your head. You're going to keep going along until they drop you. And don't think they won't. They didn't say population reduction and put up the Georgia Guidestones for nothing. There's only one way to control the population so the numbers never rise again. And it starts with dividing the genders, the dating scene. It starts with making you not able to give birth. It starts with dividing you, making you fight. It starts with breaking down the foundation of successful relationships so people can't get along anymore. Breaking down the relationship between men and making everything a competition, a sport. See, you all think when sports came into existence hundreds of years ago, it was for your entertainment. No, that's what they wanted you to believe. It was used to furtherly break you down and divide you and destroy you. And that's exactly what it's done. Now your mindset is everything's a competition. It's a game, it's a sport, it's an arena. Everything, including other people's lives. And how we treat one another, what we do unto one another. All this was part of NWO. And then all you so-called normies and you sheep that are so brainwashed don't want to bruise your egos. Oh, but it's too personal. That's why you lost. Because it was too personal. I understand it's personal topics, but I understand millions of men's lives are being destroyed. And you're all laughing at it. Why you're doing it? And I'm watching the fighting, and it's unfortunately, yes, we still have women and men getting together, and we still have a percentage of couples that have been together for a long time. I know this. I'm not blind to that. But I'm not blind to what I'm watching get bigger and bigger and bigger and grow right in my face. Where you're turning your head and looking the other way. You think you can fight this part of the corruption and leave this part of the corruption alone because it's too personal for you. So you're wasting your breath about anything you're saying on the other end because you're either going to beat the whole damn thing and take it all down or just forget it. Go home and shut up. Excuse my language, but that's what I got to say to you. And if you're at home, just shut off your camera. Stop running your mouth. Because you're not going to beat evil when you're siding with evil. You can't walk hand in hand with evil and beat it. We're using their tools that technically would be our tools, but we've allowed them to own it all. That's right. We bend over for them, don't we? And we get the lube out, don't we? It's just disgusting. I've talked about the political end for a long time, and I've talked about the dating scene issues for a long time. I see clearly what's going on. It's very clear and in my face what's going on. And you've all lost, every one of you. You're wasting your breath. You're wasting my time listening to you. When you can't use critical thinking skills to figure out the kind of trouble we're in, unless we all can start changing our own behaviors and not taking corruption and double standards as our normal behaviors. Just like the gender issue. You all know full well in your mind there ain't no 50-something genders. You know that. Why you're accepting it's beyond me. You might as well accept that 2 + 2 = 22 then, huh? There's complete insanity. It really is. And it just, But no, I hope Steve does go after the man. Why not? Because Steve's right. He can do just as good of a job as this guy can, and he will talk about the white elephant in the room. Because he's not going to follow the agenda. This man, Dr. Grande, is going to follow the agenda because he's got a paycheck laying on the line. He's got his tool. He's not doing this for free. Oh, he'll lie to you and say the only money he's making off of is what he's monetized or what have you. He don't mind lying to you. He has no problems with that. That's become norm too, hasn't it? Sure has. See, that's the real reason you don't like TFL. Is because it involves being honest with yourself and doing the right thing. It's no different than when I told Jerry what true TFLers want. And his answer to these people just wanting one woman that they could love for who they are, that would love them for who they are, and to be with that one woman for life and have kids and raise a family. And Jerry says to me, why would anybody want that? That was what he said to me, man. And I was like, there you go. You talk about going along with NWO. You talk about breaking down the foundation of a society and not being smart enough to figure out that will be your demise. You cannot win. You can't break down the foundation of a successful society and divide the genders and do what we've done and survive. The mentality is going to lead people to self-destruction. All because you, fail to be able to recognize right from wrong? Fail to stand up for what's right? Because you're too scared to open your mouth? You're too scared to care because, see, care would lead to anger. See, you don't want anger no more. You're trying to make it so that anger is wrong. And there's something wrong if you're angry. No. If you have true care, then when somebody wrongs somebody, you become angry at the person for wronging somebody and then wronging somebody else. And through that care, with that anger, you'll stand up to that person. That person will be made to stop hurting others. It's called learning how to stand up for yourselves. Instead of hiding behind a keyboard and pretending you're tough. Because you was never tough. You were a coward. See, the real tough are the people that's like Steve Hoke or like myself, or the people that put their face and their name out there for you, that ain't afraid to tell you just how it really is. That'll fight this war right to the grave. Because what's happening is so evil and so wrong on so many levels. But Dr. Grande, and just another fake doctor, person using a doctor label that ain't even a doctor. Show me your schooling that says that you're a doctor. Show me your certificates. That's right. Your degrees and your certificates and your schooling that says that you've learned how to, be a good little slave. Because, even though a psychologist or psychiatrist, so-called psychologist or whatever, can say a lot of truths and a lot of facts, they still can't call everything, regardless. They're still human beings like everybody else. And all of you know the TFL is real. But you despise the fact it's real. You want to hide. Well, the elephant in the room is still in the room. And you're not going to hide. But the establishment, because Google is in bed with Hollywood and all the other entities, and has lots of employees here on YouTube that are working for the establishment. They're here for money. That's right. They're making their living. They're being paid. Maybe by MGM Studios. Yeah, they're receiving really good pay to do what they're doing. And they have to follow what they're told to do because they're great little order followers. And TFL will never, ever, ever be brought up by them. Because when they do bring it up, the first thing they do is they say TFL and Incel are the same. That's why they're in the same category together. These guys just made a different name for themselves, but they're really incels. They really just want sex. That's because they know that that's the tool they've used to break down the morals, to break down the relationships. They know this. I've pointed this out. And I've told you, sex is at the very, 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 very last in a true relationship. Because what makes a relationship successful is becoming friends. Not friend zone, ladies. See, all you ladies out there that use the friend zone and smirk because you're doing it is because you're just as stupid as the men are. No lie. You're every bit as stupid as the men are. You're every bit as much responsible for the destruction of the family unit. You're just as responsible. You're so complicit. You claim you're so much smarter because society says you're a woman, you're smarter. But that's not what I see. What I see is childish behavior from both genders. Games, lies, manipulation, and one gender holding cards over the other, which should never be happening. Even if it was men to women, it'd be wrong. Just like it's wrong for women to men. But we have so many factors and so many lies that's gone on for hundreds and hundreds of years. And I don't buy into a lot of this stuff anymore now. I understand they want to say it's in our DNA, it's in our instincts, it's in our behavior, biologically animals. And we have animal instincts in us. I understand what you're saying, but I want to differ with you. That is the perfect cop-out to not take responsibility for one's own actions. That is the perfect cop-out to use to say it was just in your animal instinct to do wrong unto somebody else. They gave you your cop-outs. They programmed you to believe the lie. You want to say human beings are the more smarter, the more intelligent than animals. But what I see is animals are more intelligent than humans. You're not progressing forward. You're falling back. That's really what you're doing. Well, look, we got more technology that's made you more dumber. I could go on for hours with this. But anyhow, just remember this. They're deliberately not bringing TFL up, and if they do, they're going to lump it in with incel when it's a complete lie. They're going to lie to keep the agenda alive and to keep you all divided and docile until you end up destroying your own selves. So, Steve, go ahead, man. You can do a good job on him. Put some stuff together for old Dr. Grande over there. Because Steve's going to be every bit as intelligent as this guy is. There's no doubt about that. Okay, the only difference between Steve and him is this idiot is getting paid to deceive you and to not talk about and deceive you. Of course, he's going to deceive you with truth. They've been doing that forever to you, telling you enough truth to sell it on you and then freaking throwing in their lies and leading you right to your own demise. But with that being said, I'm almost up a 30-minute video here, so I think I'll jump on out of here. And I hope to see Steve do something with Mr. Grande soon. Hell, as far as I'm concerned, if Steve wants to talk about Mr. Grande on the Saturday Night Live, he's always welcome to come on that show and go to town on Grande if he wants. Or he can make some videos of his own. It's all up to Steve, man. But Steve's got a busy life. He's working. He's doing his own thing. You know, and this topic does get to people after a while, doesn't it? Yeah. But don't matter how personal and how much it gets to you. You're not going to change anything unless you really want it changed. And what's going on is about as evil or wicked as it can get. And yes, TFL is quite real. Always has been, always will be. And yes, TFL is not and has never been incel. They are not one and the same. They have common problems. That's all. But they're not one and the same. And I'm not saying all incels are single. I'm not saying you couldn't be an incel and want the right thing, but to want the right thing, you wouldn't be an incel, then you'd be TFL. If you can't get a female in your life and it's not about sex to you, and that comes in very last, then you're TFL and you're just scared of the name. But you need to separate yourself from them because the incels are being demonized and they're being pointed at, and they've already had a couple of stage shows for you with Elliot Rogers and the Canada thing. And then were acts. There were Hollywood acts committed in your face and pointed fingers and said how they're real when they're not. And they gave you their professional made Hollywood grade videos talking about Elliot Rogers, idol of these people. The Canada Run Me Over guy was idolizing Elliot Rogers, who was an incel. And they want to take TFL and call it incel so they can take out the whole cluster. But the problem is the only reason they want to do that with TFL is because they know. They know that TFLers are the most honest people online. They know that if they followed what we're talking about, we all went with what we're talking about, you could bring the genders back together again if you really wanted. You could make people strong again. You could look out for each other. There's no excuse in hell to have an 80-20 rule amongst the genders. No, it isn't that there's more men alive than women or more women than men. That's all lies. Prove it. You can't prove any of it. You're going with other statistics that another human being gave you that's being paid to put it in the public, and they're not going to allow anything to be put in the public view that they don't want you knowing. Why do you think they keep TFL hidden? It's so in your face. Anyhow, I'm out of here, guys.